Hi darlings, and welcome back to my makeup garden. It's Liz. So my Lunar Beauty order came in and I want to play with the items that I picked up with you guys. So recently Lunar Beauty launched a new collection. It's called the Moonshroom collection here. I did pick up the entire collection. So this collection consists of an eyeshadow palette here. There are 18 pans. There's 6 shimmers in the middle. And there are 12 mattes, and I love the colors. The mushroom thing, it gets me. I am such a schlor for cottagecore, and I was just like, I have to. It's so pretty. So we're gonna play with this today. Now this retail palette, I believe it retails for $36. Hold on, let me see if I can find the paper. This palette does retail for $48, but there is bundle pricing available in the collection. And then so we also have a highlighter palette here. This is a quad. So there are 4 very smooth shades here, 1 blush topper, deeper skin tone, and then 2 that are like light and mid. I will probably end up playing with this color today. And then in the collection, there are also 3 lip glosses. So we're gonna play with the items in this collection. Now, I also picked up 2 additional items that are not part of this collection. So I went ahead and picked up the Lunarversal Setting Powder. I picked up the pink color because I love a pink setting powder. If you've been here before, you know that. And look at this component. It's so cute. It has like a little moon on the top. So we're going to play with this as well. There's a little puff in here. I am going to use a little puff today just to kind of see if I like it. And, oh look, I love that. Ooh, I love that. Okay. So we are going to play with this today. And I also picked up from a previous collection, the full coverage. This is the blush palette. What do they call this? Full Fantasy Blush Palette. This is the collaboration with Laura Lee, who is Manny MUA's best friend. So I picked up this up as well. And we are going to use a couple of shades in here, just not the highlighters. So let's play with all the goodies, shall we? I did already put a base of makeup on my face. I have concealer, which it's a concealer I don't love, but it is the only one I have right now. And I did place the Tarte Maracuja as my base. That's a tinted hydrator. That's been my favorite tinted, like my favorite face base going to warmer months. Oh, cool. All right, so I am just gonna take this little thing. Just gonna put it in here, put some on the puff, and then let's set my under eye. Now with this concealer, I don't necessarily have to set it, but I do like to set it. So I'm gonna have to learn how to use this little bin. I feel like I'm making a mess, but that is okay. The powder does have a very slight smell. It's almost like a candy smell. It's weird. Okay, I don't know if I needed... We're off to a great start here this morning. Ooh, I do like how smooth this is. I'm going to brush off the extra. So fret not. Oh, and I also have a color corrector, and I do have a cream bronzer on as well, just so you know like what my base is starting out. So let's go ahead, and while that sets in for just a minute before I brush it away, let's put on a lip gloss. So this collection did come with 3 different lip glosses. And I'm going to put on this shade Ella today. Ella is like this transparent clear gloss with like glittery shift here. Let me see if I can find a clean part of my hand because I forgot to clean my hand off. So let's go ahead and put this one on. Oh, it smells like cake. It very much like, it smells and tastes like a cake batter. Oh, look how glossy it is. I've never used Lunar Beauty's lip glosses. So this is my first time trying them. That smells like cake gloss. Well, I'm hungry now. Like, I'm not mad at it, but ooh, that feels really smooth. So let me go ahead and brush this off here. All right, well, right away, I definitely can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but I for sure can tell that obviously I'm more mattified. But I can also tell that my under eyes are smoother and that concealer is set. You can still see some of my dark circles. I didn't use like a heavy coverage color corrector or anything. And like I said, the concealer it's mediocre. It's a Revlon one that I just don't love. It's the Flexwear. it's okay. I'm just trying to use it up. But I do like how the powder actually worked on my under eyes. And I think the pink is not too overwhelming. I think the pink is just a little bit of warmth. I don't feel like it's overwhelmingly pink, you know? So this is called Translucent Pink. So I'm glad that it kind of falls in line with that. So let's play with the Full Fantasy blush palette here. I can't remember what, I think this retails for $36. I think this is what I was thinking of before. Like $36 or $38. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen there so you can see. So I'm kind of feeling, I want to use this bronzer as well. So we'll do that next. But for blush, I'm kind of feeling this color, but there's something about this berry that is very appealing to me. So maybe we'll just mix these two. I don't necessarily want to use that cool tone bubblegum pink right now, but we're just going to mix Rose Skyline, which is this one, and Peachy Keen, which is this one. I am a sucker for a peachy blush. Look. All right. Oh, that's pretty. I do like to bring my blush to the high points of my face right here. And I do like to wrap mine up just under the corner of my eye there. That is my preference. A little dabbing on the nose there. Not too much to where it looks like I'm fully sunburned, but, you know, a little bit of something. A little bit of color to keep it continuous. So, ooh, I like this. I likey a lot. Ooh, I do like. Okay. It is very smooth. It's a little bit more pigmented than their Moon Prism blushes, I think. And maybe that's the nature of this berry color here, but I do think it is really pretty. It's a really pretty formula. It blended out like seamlessly. You saw me. I just went do, you know, nothing too crazy. So I love that. There is a bronzer in here as well. This is Sandbar, and I think we should try to use it. What do you think? Let me grab a little bit of a fluffy brush here. I think I'm going to use this domed fluffy brush. This is the powder brush by Sephora, but I think this is going to do what I want it to do for this. I do already have a cream bronzer on that is set, and that one is by Tarte. And I'm just going to dab into Sandbar here and see if we can add a little bit of color around the face, just in those like hollows of my cheek. It's kind of hard to tell if it's doing anything for me on my end. So you'll have to tell me in the comments if you see a difference. So, oh, I see a difference. Okay. I the first time I put it on, it was like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Okay. It's a little subtle. Well, it's really subtle, I should say. Maybe not on this side. I feel like I put too much there, but that's okay. We'll just diffuse it a little bit with this brush. Sorry, I was like, I over compensated for my enunciation there. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about that color, honestly. I think it looks fine. I don't think it looks bad. Let's see if it'll go on my chicken cutlet down here. See how it looks down there, because it's kind of like a neutrally, almost cool leaning brown. So, okay, that's fine. A little bit of chicken cutlet contour. We're not mad at that. Okay, cool. I like this. So let's go into the highlighter palette. So this 4pan highlighter palette here, this retails for $36. You can see I dipped my fingers in. That's because I swatched it. I was like, I must touch it. Now I think that I'm going to go into the shade here, Tink. And I do want to use a brush to do that. So let me grab a brush. I'm going to use this one here. It's kind of like a domed, not too loose, but not too fluffy either. I actually usually really like this for powder, but I think it's going to work well for what I want it to. This one is the Bullet by Opulent Beauty. So I think this is the only brush in my collection that's kind of like this. I'm just going to go into here. I'm not sure. It picked up a lot on that brush, so we'll see. Maybe I should do one of these type numbers. And let's see how this looks on the cheek. Ooh, okay. I see you. I see you. Pretty. It's not too much, you know what I mean? Like, it's not too much. It's just a really nice glow. I like that. Okay. I did tap it off, so I wonder how like bold it would be if I didn't tap it off. Maybe we should see. Oh, that is really pretty. Just how like the light hits it. See, this is the kind of highlighter I like. I think if you sprayed a setting spray and you put this over setting spray, this would just beam. But I like a little bit more subtle. I like, you know, obviously this is bright, but It's not like obnoxious, and I really like that in a highlighter where you just kind of get that like did she go for a run? Physically, she doesn't look like it. I probably didn't, but it is really cute. Oh, okay. So, oh, I'm digging that. Okay, like that. I only used the one shade so far. Maybe we'll use one of these other shades for the inner corner when it comes down to the end of it. I'm thinking that light sugar would actually be really pretty as an inner corner color. But first, let's play in the eyeshadow palette. I just washed my eye brushes, and I'm very excited about that. Get a little bit closer so that I can actually reach things on my desk. All right. So the Moonshroom palette is here, and I'm kind of thinking that I have to go into these like eggplant and mustard tones. I think that's really just calling my name. And maybe we can place a little bit of like this in the crease. Let's just play, shall we? Let's just play. So first and foremost, I'm gonna go into Lion's Mane. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Manny did say that this collection was inspired by a mushroom documentary on Netflix. And listen, I'm here for that. Okay, so going into Lion's Mane, which is this really pretty yellow here. I have actually watched the same documentary, actually, before he even like mentioned it. And I was like, oh, I know which one you are speaking of. I do have a little bit of residual lash glue from yesterday. So if you see that, that is what that is. Well, that just went on beautifully. In my experience in the past, Lunar Beauty shadows have been buildable, but not like too pigmented where you're just kind of like concerned with blending it out. That's not been my experience. But this color is pigmented. Like you see that already? So I'm just gonna go, yeah, it is pigmented. I love that, yay. I was hoping, I hate it when you get a palette and then it's so powdery or so in need of layering that it takes you all day to do your eyeshadow. Like I would rather start off with like some midline pigment and either build it up or sheer it out. And I do like this. Okay, I am excited about this. It's a great color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a clean brush that I can just use to diffuse this yellow a little bit. So instead of adding another color, I'm just going to use a clean brush, just kind of blow it out a little bit. This is just a blending brush by Luxie. Probably came in a boxy charm like an eon ago. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I do think I need to add a little bit more to the left-hand side here, but no, I have to go look and see. I do think I still have the Raw Beauty Christie collaboration palette. So I will compare some of those colors in here, and if you like, I can swatch them side by side so that we can see like what the differences are between them. But, and we'll do that at the very end of the video. Okay, I am very satisfied with how that came out. I really like that yellow. All right, so I think I'm gonna go into this shade here. This is called Fuzzy Foot. And I think I wanna use that to just deepen up my crease just a little bit. I think I'm gonna use that same brush that I used. This is from the Glam Light Michaela Part 2 collaboration. So I'm gonna use this brush with that little bit of yellow on it. I'm gonna go into Fuzzy Foot here. And let's see if I can't just deepen up the crease just a little bit. I don't need it to be like crazy, but I do want a little bit of deepening there. It's amazing how quickly like the vibe of the look changes when you add just that little bit of brown in the crease. It's like warm brown color. Almost has like some plum undercurrents to it, but not anything like overpowering. So, okay. And I do think it's gonna play nice with that dark purple. So, okay. Love this journey for me. Love this journey for me. Like you still get that yellow, but it's not quite so yellow. You know what I mean? All right, so let's grab a little bit of a finer brush and we're gonna use that to deepen up our crease. I have this, I wouldn't call this a pencil brush. It's a tapered blending brush by Blend Bunny. This is their B4. Let me make sure there's nothing on it. Yeah, nothing on it. Okay. Now we're going to go into the shade here, which is called Pretty Poison. And it is very much that like eggplant purple kind of color. So, all right, there we go. We're just going to add that here. Now, should we make this a halo eye? Nah, yeah, no, no, yeah. No, we won't make it a halo eye, but I will add a little bit of this color to the inner part of my eye just for some dimension. Ooh, look how that blended out. That diffused really nicely. I have a little bit too much right there, but that diffused so nicely. Whew, I like that a lot. Let me put a little bit here on the inner corner, just for a little bit of dimension. Okay, oh, I'm digging this. Okay, and let me do the other side as well. Okay, so let's take off this lip gloss color and let's try on the pink one. My goal is to try them all on before the end of this video, but I really like this clear. It's very comfortable formula. It's not sticky at all. So I'm digging this, and I like the component. It's got that little gem in there. Okay, so this shade is called Flora. So let's go ahead and put this on. Those of you who have been around for a little bit might know what I'm gonna say next. It is giving me very subtly, very light pink butthole vibes. If you hear little clickety clacks, my nephew Earl, who is a dog, is walking around right now, and he's got the little clickety clack nails. It's like he has his own little acrylics on there. Okay, I like it. It's not too pink, so I appreciate that. With a brown lip liner, I think this would actually be really pretty on me. I don't know if I'm gonna wear it by itself. It's a little bit too light pink for what I prefer. I can see a difference. Okay, so let's finish the eye look. So we do have 6 really pretty, like kind of shimmery shades. Part of me really wants to put like this color because I think it would be fun, but I kind of want to go this gold. Actually, I kind of want to go the olive route for like over here, and this color for like the inner. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go into Fairy Wings here, which is very much like a light, almost antique gold. Here it is there. And I'm gonna place that on my inner corner here. Oh, and I did not put a primer on my eyelid. I wanna see what these are like without an eye primer. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, I like that. They're very soft, like they feel very emollient almost on the finger. So we will see how well these fare with my eyelids with creasing, because I do have, like, you know, these creases and these slightly hooded eyes here, and yeah, okay. I am digging this. Okay, this is a really pretty color. I like that. Let me do the other eye, and then we will try a different color, because I do want to put 2 on the lid for a little bit of dimension. Okay, I like how all of the colors blended together. I think all of the tones that I used work really well together. So I'm excited for that. All right. Tiapa tiapa. It's always hard for me not to make a mess on my lower lash line. Just, it is. When I get to shimmering, I make a mess. When I shimmer the shimmers. Okay. Ooh. Now I could leave this as is, because I think that gradient with that dark purple is really beautiful. I think it's really beautiful, but I have to be a little bit extra, right? Just a little bit. So I kind of want to go into this shade here, which is like an antique kind of gold. Like, it's that brassy gold. It's called Spores. Ooh, but then Fungi looks really good too. Okay, we'll go into this brassy gold though. I want to see this color. So this shade is called Spores, and if you look, it kind of has like that tarnished look almost. It's like that green gold. And I'm going to just tap that here. Just a little bit of dimension. It's not anything too crazy. I do like it though. Ooh, yes. Just a little zhuzh, a little something, you know? I like that. I kind of wish one of these shimmer shades was a little bit lighter. I do prefer to have kind of like an all-in-one look in a palette, and I do find that I really like having a light colored shimmer for that. But I do think the colors that are in here work for the palette. I do think they're really pretty. And they're more on the subtle side. I think we get those lighter tones in the highlighter palette. Okay, I like that a lot. Why don't we fuck it up with a bright pop of color in the inner corner? Because what would it be? Would it be a Liz video? Oops, I'm dropping things. Would it be a Liz video if I didn't add like a bright pop of color? Would it? Don't think so. So we're gonna go into, literally like 3 things just fell off the desk. Okay, let's go into Pixie Pop, which is this bright purple here. I'm curious how pigmented this is gonna be as an inner corner shade. Now, usually when I have a shimmery lid, I like to have a matte inner corner. That's just kind of my preference. And there's a beautiful cream color in here. This would have worked lovely for it, but I'm extra. So let's see how this does as an inner corner. Oh, it's pretty. I like that little pop of purple. Just a little pop of color. I think it's light enough to where it doesn't make me look bruised. Purples on me can make me look very bruised because I have a lot of yellow in my skin. But let's see. Oh, pretty. I like just a little pop of something extra, you know? I think I could mix in a little bit of that white color called Puffball. And like, let's see if that'll work. And lighten this up just a little bit by mixing in some Puffball, which is that cream color. Oh, yeah, see, I think that worked well. You still get that pop of purple, but it's a slightly different tone of purple. I do love a purple and yellow combo. But we need to figure out this lower lash line, don't we? So I kind of, because we have that purple and that, I kind of want to go into this green. This is kind of calling my name. I am using the same brush. Or should I use Meadow? Let's use Meadow. It's like this muted chartreusey. It's not quite as bright as chartreuse. It is very much just like one of those like greeny brown kind of shades. And let's use that on the lower lash line. It reminds me of a little bit of the shade Wolf from the Onsai Hella palette, but a little bit lighter. And I think that it'll lend itself well to the lower lash line. Wolf, after a while, became one of my favorite lower lash shades. That's how I hit pan in it. I do like this. I do feel like I have to build this up a little bit, but that's okay. Oh yeah, that's a great lower lash shade. It would be pretty on the lid too, of course, but. And then let's add a little pop of shimmer on the lower lash line as well. Okay, I like that. I do like that. Okay, so I think we should add a pop of shimmer. I'm kind of feeling Magic Mushroom here. I kind of want to put that on my inner lower corner there. So let me grab a different brush. Let's grab this one here. This one's by Davina. This is the 103. It's just a small little tapered brush. I'm going into the shade Magic Mushroom here. It's got a cool tones, or should I do the purple? Oh, I kind of like the purple. Let's do the purple. This one is called Witch's Hat, which is also a type of mushroom, in case you didn't know. So, all right. Pretty. A little more subtle than I was thinking that it was going to be based off of the pan, but I do think it's pretty. Just a little subtle pop of something, you know? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do liner and put some mascara on. I'm not planning to wear lashes. And then we will come back and we will try on that last gloss and compare the palette to the At Forest site by Raw Beauty Christy and ColourPop. So be right back. All right, darlings, so this is gonna be the completed eye look. I really like how this came out. These shimmers perform really beautifully, even without using any kind of glitter primer, any of that. I just think they look lovely. I don't have any creasing yet, so that's a good sign. I like that. I appreciate that. I ended up adding the Benefit Roller Lash. That's what I've been using lately, which I dropped and it's in the abyss on my floor somewhere. So Benefit Roller Lash, I added this color here. This is called Best O by ColourPop. This is one of their cream gel liners. I think this played beautifully on the lash line as well, or on the waterline. And then I did add some black eyeliner, the 24/7 by Urban Decay. So on my tight line up there. I love how this came out. I think it's really beautiful. So let's talk about the things that I picked up and let's change our lip color. So the last lip gloss color for this collection, can you wipe this off? The last lip gloss color is this shade here. This is called Sol, S-O-L. And it is just like a sparkly brown color, which is right up my alley. It's kind of a bronzy color. It does smell like a cupcake. Like I am hungry now. Thanks so much, Manny. Yeah, I actually think this is probably my favorite of the three because it is the most like neutral. The clear one's fine, but it's just like clear with sparkles, but this has a little bit of neutrally brown to it, and I like that with my lip color. So, yep, digging this. But yeah, so this is a completed eye look. I think it looks beautiful. So let's talk about the items and then we'll compare it. So this highlighter palette here, honestly, this highlighter is really beautiful. I'm really digging this. I think that these are just so pretty. This is the one I used. I am going to try using this on an inner corner. I think this is going to make for a really beautiful inner corner shade. And then this is more like a blush topper. And then this is something that I think would be better for like deeper skin tones. I think this might be a little bit too dark for what my preferences are, but maybe we'll try it out another time and see if actually I can get it to work in some way. Maybe tapped into a lip gloss, that would be really pretty on my skin tone. So beautiful, worth the money in my opinion. All right, so Moonshroom palette. This is really beautiful. I found it to be really easy to use. I think the tones are true to application. So when you put them on your eyes, I don't feel like they apply in any strange way. They don't appear to be creasing. I think they apply to the eye true to color even without a primer. I'm not wearing a primer today. So yeah, now this one shows up a little bit deeper, I think. But I did mix it with a little bit of this one. And this one, I think it just showed up because of where it was. I think these two together, or even this one and this one, are going to look so beautiful together. I can't wait to do that in another look, but for today, this is what we did. These two, they look similar. There's enough of a difference you can see it on the lid there. And it's just really subtle but pretty. And then obviously I'm going to have to use these other shades in another look at another time. We'll just do that get ready with me style. But yeah, I just think it's a really beautiful color story. So now let me compare this side by side for you with the Raw Beauty Christie palette. So I know that even I was like, yeah, there's a lot of overlap there, I think. And I do think there is a lot of overlap, but tonally they might be slightly different. So immediately, these two shades, hold on, let me see if I can coordinate this. These two shades appear similar to me. I think the one in Manny's palette is maybe a smidge more green and less like gray toned, but that is a similar shade. Let's see, let's swatch them actually. Let me put this down and let's swatch it. So we're gonna go ahead and what I'll do is I'll put them side by side. So, all right, so this one is P&W. Actually is Dewdrop or P&W closer? I think P&W or Pacific Northwest is actually closer to Dewdrop from, so this is Pacific Northwest from ColourPop. So this is the ColourPop one, okay? Oh, I think I might have dug in a little too hard. And then this is Dewdrop from the Raw Beauty, or from the Manny MUAs. So this is obviously more green. Let me swatch Emerald City as well, because I think Emerald City is going to be even closer, so you can see them side by side, okay? Ooh. All right, so this is Emerald City. So immediately, it is very similar. Now this has a little bit more teal in it, I think, than the Lunar Beauty one. So now this is swatching on my hand, of course, without any primer. So you know, it may feel or look different, you know, compared to whatever. So, okay, in the Raw Beauty Kristi one, let's grab a Fiddlehead here. And we are going to compare that to Weeping Willow from the Manny MUA palette. So here is Fiddlehead. Okay, so that's Fiddlehead from Raw Beauty Kristi. I always forget how good a quality that Raw Beauty Kristi palette was. Like, I haven't used it in a while, but I should. I was going to declutter it, but maybe I won't now. Okay, so I'm grabbing Weeping Willow from the Lunar Beauty palette. We are going to place that right here beside the ColourPop. So as you can see, they are similar. I think Manny's is a little bit brighter than the Raw Beauty Kristi one, but they are very close. And I think on the eye, they would look very close as well. Okay, let's do 2 more shades and then we'll just call it a wrap. I do want to do 2 shimmer, like a shimmer shade and 1 more matte. I think that's reasonable. So, all right, let's grab Chanterelle or Chanterelle. I always say Chanterelle, but I know it's Chanterelle. All right, so I'm going to grab this shade from Raw Beauty Kristi, and I'm going to put that here. I do have a little bit of drop down there, but it's nothing crazy. And I do want to compare that to the shade that's on my eye right now, and that is Lion's Mane. I think that's going to be the closest match here. So let's compare those. Okay, this is the Manny MUA side. See how pigmented that is? It's actually more pigmented than the Raw Beauty Kristi one. So very similar tones though. I think on the eye also just very similar. But I do think Manny's is a little bit brighter of a yellow. It's more like a marigold and less like the actual mushroom itself. They are very slightly different tones. Okay, and then the last one that I want to swatch is, let's see, let's go ahead and do one of these shimmers. I think this shade here would probably be a similar one because I think this is close to the one I used today. So this one is called Evergreen. Okay, so picking that up. So this is Evergreen, okay? Just a pretty, this one's a little bit more sheer. So let's try that against Spores, which is see, look, I can immediately tell that they're different. Yeah, these are very different. In the pan, they look similar, but I much prefer Manny's. This is kind of shifty, like color changing. I much prefer Manny's, but let's compare one other shade actually, because those are so similar. Let me grab, let's do the other shimmer. So Raw Beauty Kristi's has one other shimmer. It's kind of like this gold color. And we're going to compare this to Fairy Wings. This one is called West Coast in the Raw Beauty Kristi palette. Again, this is just my skin. There's no primers or anything else on there. And then we're going to compare that to the Golden Manny's, which is called Fairy Wings. And that's the one that's currently, oh, those are really similar.
Mommy.
What, baby? Okay, well, let's compare those.
Mommy,
Ooh.
I need this one.
Okay, baby.
Wow, it's so yummy.
It's so yummy. Okay, here, take it with you. Can you take it with you?
I'm going to take it out of womb.
Okay, I love you. You're so cute. Okay, so yeah, these are very, very similar. I think the Raw Beauty Kristi's is a tad bit more of like that warm gold tone, but they are really similar. So if you already have the Raw Beauty Kristi one, you probably don't need this one, the Moonshroom palette by Lunar Beauty. I mean, unless you want it. I have both. I was actually going to declutter the Raw Beauty Kristi one, but maybe I'll hang on to it. But yeah, these are just, it's a beautiful palette. I enjoy the color story that they came up with, and I am glad to have it in my collection. I'm curious if this one is going to swatch similar actually to that first one. Let's see how this compares to this shade. Oh, those are similar too. This Manny's is way brighter though, way brighter. So yeah, Very similar for those of you who are curious, little cats and kittens. The other products that I picked up, this Lunarversal Setting Powder, I actually really like how this looks under my eyes. It is not drying. It's settled on top of a concealer I don't even like very well. I don't feel like it's drying or it's aging me at all, so I appreciate that. It is definitely blurring, so I love that. Yeah, I'm digging this so far. We'll see. I think I'm going to do a battle of the powders, but we'll see. And then the last product is the full coverage. This is the blush palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles and Manny MUA for their full coverage podcast, their BFFs. And yeah, I used these two colors together today. I think it actually made for a really beautiful blush color. This shade, I'm not sure if I'm sold on this as a bronzer shade for me. I'll give it a little bit more work, but we'll see. And I haven't tried the other shades, so I can't vouch for those. I only tried these three today. But I do like the look like how it looks on the cheek. So I'll continue to play with this, of course. And my darlings, that's it. If you made it this far, will you please leave me a mushroom emoji? I know, I love them. And I will leave a list of all the things that I acquired in the comments or in the description box below. So if you want to check them out, I don't have a code or anything. I used ALLIE Dawson's code to save on the powder. Nothing else was code eligible. The full coverage collection is not code eligible. And the Moonshroom items are if you want just a single item, but you cannot use a code on the bundles, just FYI. But anyway, tell me what you think in the comments below. I really love the look and I'm going to continue to play with it. I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for liking and subscribing and for watching this far. I appreciate your time. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.